Hi and good morning. How's everybody on this rainy day? Um, it's raining, but it's warm summer rain and it's nice. Uh, it wasn't so nice driving in it a few minutes ago, but it's cool. It's all good, right? So today we're going to do some review and just so we nail this stuff down, because when you get to that writing portion of the test, I want y'all to jam, right? So we're going to talk about a little bit more modifiers. And this is from the TASC study book, study page. So it's exactly how you would see this stuff on the test. So give me one sec to get myself together. I was on the run this morning. Whew. And thank you for bearing with me. You know, some mornings you're just going from one place to the next. It's hard to catch a breath. So let me share this with you and we're going to get started. So here we go. Okay, you want to act this morning. Why you want to act? Okay, you want to show yourself. Hold on one second. I got something for you. Yes, not going to bother me. Okay, so our question, what is a modifier? A modifier is a word or a phrase that modifies, changes a word, phrase, or clause. And modifiers can modify nouns or pronouns. We call those adjectives, right? So the girl, the tall girl. Okay, and adverbs modify verbs. Um, so an adverb is, you know, where we say run, how, quickly, slowly. And then a modifier phrase modifies an action or an actor, jumping high. Um, let me see what else. Driving fast, right? So those are all modifiers. How are they doing it? What are they doing? Okay, so that is it. Um, okay, what's going on here? Something crazy just happened. I don't know what that was, y'all. But that's life. Crazy things happen from time to time. And you know what you do? You roll with it. So let's look at our modifying ideas. Okay. Modifiers. Oh, let's look at the key ideas here on the left side. These little blurbs are important. They help us, and it's hard to read, but I'm going to um, bring that up a little bit. So, modifiers make writing clearer and more interesting. And then you can correct a dangling modifier by turning it into the subordinate clause or by making the word that is modified the subject of the sentence. What is she talking about? I'm going to tell you in a moment. And then last, place the modifier as near as possible to the word or phrase it describes. That's an important idea. So let's start up here with the definition. Modifiers are words and phrases that are used to add descriptive details. A modifier might be a word like sweaty, a verb phrase like dragging the heavy box. What were they doing with the heavy box? They were dragging it. A prepositional phrase like from the storage room. From where? The storage room. Or a clause like that we packed this morning. Clause. So modifiers make writing more clear, more specific, and more interesting. So let's look at this example without the modifier. Our friends Jack and Tina helped us while we were moving. And with a modifier, our good friends. What kind of friends do we have? Good friends. Jack and Tina helped us while we were moving, watching their baby in their home. So, how did they help us? By watching our baby in their home. So, look at this one without a modifier. We realized the weather would not cooperate. And with a modifier, sweating profusely at 9 a.m., we realized the weather would be uncooperatively hot. So how was the weather not cooperating? It was hot. And what was the cause when we realized this wasn't working for us? Because we were sweating profusely at 9 a.m. Well, yesterday, it was 82 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? So if you had work to do, you may have been sweating profusely at 8 a.m. So use modifiers carefully, or your meaning will be unclear. A dangling modifier is a word or phrase at the beginning of the sentence that doesn't have a clear subject. Who, but, where. So to correct a dangling modifier, turn it into a subordinate clause or make the word that the modifier describes into the subject, turn it into the subject of the sentence. Let's take a look at this first one. Driving the truck, one of the boxes fell out. Who was driving the truck? And what in one of the boxes? Who was driving the truck? As we were driving the truck, one of the boxes fell out. And correct also is driving the truck. We heard one of the boxes fell out because how did you know that the box fell out, right? You heard it or maybe you saw it. Let's look at the second example. Parking in a tow zone, the officer gave us a ticket. It sounds like the police officer was parked in the tow zone. But what is correct, because we parked in the tow zone, an officer gave us a ticket, right? Why did we get the ticket? Because we parked in the tow zone. Dangling modifier, next example. Never having planned a move before, the real estate agent gave us some tips. Who never moved before? It sounds like it's the real estate agent. So, never having moved before, we asked the real estate agent for some tips. We were the ones that never moved before. Those are dangling modifiers. Now, if we look at a misplaced modifier, it's not placed correctly in the sentence. You don't know which word it modifies, or it modifies the wrong one. To correct a misplaced modifier, put the modifier next to the word it describes. Let's look at this example. The moving van was just large enough that we rented. And then what we say is the moving van that we rented was just large enough, right? The moving van was just, who rented it? So there we go. You put the moving van near who? We. Here's another one. We hoisted and lugged all our furniture up 2 flights of stairs, panting heavily. Who's panting heavily? We or the stairs? You have to be completely clear. Panting heavily. We hoisted and lugged all our furniture up 2 flights of stairs. Let's look at the next page, which is the next page is in page that you're going to take a look at. I'm going to do an example or two, and then you're going to do it. Trent's sister encouraged him to become a nurse who is a health professional. Is his sister is a health professional? Who is the health professional? Trent's sister urged him to become a nurse who is a health professional. Trent's sister encouraged him to become a nurse. Trent's sister, who is a nurse, encouraged him to become a health professional. Right? Who is our subject? Trent's sister encouraged Trent, right? While encouraging Trent to become a nurse. Let's see. Trent was encouraged to become a nurse, which is a health professional, by his sister. Okay. Let me see if I can convert this. Good luck. See if we can get it in Google Docs so I can write on it. Good boy. Is it converting? It's a mess. Look at this. Okay. I can't write on it. Let's see. I'm going to do it anyway. It's going to look terrible. See if I can do it maybe in Ready. Trent was encouraged. He was encouraged to become a nurse, a health professional by his sister. Trent's sister. Let's try this again. Trent's sister encouraged him to become a nurse and a health professional. Okay, let me correct this. So that should be an apostrophe S. Trent's sister encouraged him to become a nurse, a health professional. Second one, waking up the patients to take their blood pressure, they get rather annoyed. Who's annoyed? The patients. When I wake up patients to take their blood pressure. Ooh, this is something.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm sorry. Sometimes I forget that you're here. Oh, that's okay. You and Melanie. I finally remembered to bring in this thing. I'm proud of you.
I'm making a mess, y'all.
It smells good. You're welcome.
I wake the patients to take their blood pressure, they get annoyed. So wakes them up. I can't spell today, y'all. They get annoyed. And because who's waking up the patients? I wake the patients. He writes their temperature and blood charts and blood pressure on their charts carefully. He carefully writes. How does he do it? He carefully writes, all right? And then you do the rest. He reading. He carefully. Y'all know what I'm trying to do. Writes. Temperature.
Oh my God. I think I'm an Irish man. You brought a potato today?
On their charts. So there we go. So let's take a look at our answers and see how we did there. Then there's the second part. I'm going to show you the answers in a second. Then there's the second part where you read this passage about adoption. And then you make a correction. Okay? And what you'll be doing there is revising a sentence. So what I want to show you now is modify ideas, page 2. Show you the answer sheet, a little bit of it, a little piece of it, so you can do your own corrections. And please ask me questions. I'm not hearing from you all lately. Ask some questions. Let me know if there's anything. So here we go. Trent's sister, oh, I messed that up, who is a health professional, encouraged him to become a nurse. Who is the subject? Trent's sister. So, what did we need to do? Move the modifier next to her because she is the subject. Okay. When he wakes up the patients to take their blood pressure, they get annoyed. Very good. And here he writes, carefully writes the blood pressure, their temperature and blood pressure on their charts. So those are the answers to those first three. And the rest I want you to do on your own. So that's all we have for now. And I will see you shortly for writing part 2 in just a few minutes. All righty. Take care.